proofs involving congruent triangles, problem type 5, part 2. So we were able to come to the conclusion that ABD, the triangle, we're going to pull this apart so you can see it, ABD is congruent to the triangle CDB by angle, side, angle. Let me recap that very quickly as to why that's the case. We were here, this right here, I'm going to call this the toe and the heel. So the toe here is 3 and the toe here is 2. And we were told that angles 2 and 3 are congruent right here. So that gives us a pair of angles. We also notice that DB is congruent to DB. That's reflexive, so we get a pair of sides. And then because angle B is the sum of 1 and 2, and angle D is the sum of 3 and 4, and with this combination we know those angles are congruent, we can say angle B and D are congruent. So there's your second angle. So the triangles are going to be congruent by angle, side, angle. Taking a look, let's do the specifics. Step number 1, we know that 2 and 3 are congruent because it's given, and 1 and 4 are congruent. So 2 and 3 constituted our toes, so that's our first set of angles. 2 and 3, there's your angles. And then we know that side DB was congruent to side DB. So we come over here and we say side DB is congruent to side DB segment. And the reason for that is the reflexive property. Now we need to talk about angle B and angle D. Angle B, the measure of angle B equals the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2. That's called the angle addition property. We also know that angle, the measure of angle D equals the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 4. And the reason for that is also angle addition property. Excuse me, 3 and 4. So we know that angle D equals angle 3 plus 4 and angle B equals angles 1 plus 2. Knowing this, look very carefully, we can substitute right here both 1, we can substitute right here the measure of angle 1 with 4 and 2 with 3. So we can do here that the measure of angle in the next line right here, that the measure of angle D also equals to the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2, and that's going to be because of substitution using 3 lines. And the 3 lines we used were lines 1 and line 2, and then we substituted into line 5. That gives us our second angle, angle, side, angle. So now we can say the triangles are congruent. Oh, now we need to say that B and D are congruent. So the measure of angle D equals the measure of angle B, and that is substitution because 1 and 2 are congruent. So now we're using 2 lines, and that's going to be lines 4 this time and lines 6. So now we can say send to proof, and the reason is angle, side, angle. And that's going to be the angle, side,